Hi, and welcome to Nonni's Crafty Kids. I'm Nonni. I've been working on this fancy schmancy rainbow loom necklace that's based on the diamond loop bracelet that's found on the Rainbow Loom website. And the necklace itself is made on 2 rainbow looms attached together, so it's double length of the rainbow loom. And because of the netting, which is a dragon scale by the way, in the middle, it doesn't work very well to make it on a single loom, make half of it, lift it off, transfer it, and make the second half. That just doesn't work very well with this particular project. At the same time, I really don't like to post a project that requires 2 looms, because hey, admit it, most of us don't have 2 looms to goof around with. And sometimes you just don't have a friend handy that you can borrow another loom. So today I just want to show a variation of the same necklace made on 1 loom. So I won't go into as much detail on this, but I'll try to give you all of the variations that are required to do the same necklace on a single loom that, instead of going all the way around your neck, can be finished off with, single chain extensions. That way it can be any size that you want it to be. So let's get going. Here are 3 variations of the fancy schmancy necklace. And they're all going to slide down into a jumble here because I'm working on a tilt board. But you can see there's several different ways to make them. On the main tutorial, we work on this necklace, which has a narrow dragon scale net in the middle in a triangle shape to hold these rainbow fun charms right in the middle below the basic necklace. On this one, the net is much wider. It's actually, I think it's 2 bands wider on each side. So it gives something of a different look. And here, on this 3rd one, what I've done is change the pattern, not the pattern of placing, but just the color pattern of the bands. And let's see, it's a little more obvious here. So it's called the diamond bracelet with loops. And here you'll see the actual color shapes look more like diamonds than they do on this one. On the Rainbow Loom website, in the instructions, this is the pattern that is given, where you begin with 2 rubber bands and then move to 4 in this crisscross shape, and then you continue for the rest of the project in the crisscross shape. On this one, instead of, it's a little confusing because I've got the clasp here. Instead of using just 2 and switching right away, I've used 4 of the same color and then switched to the next color. So that gives more of the diamond shape, which seems to me to make sense since it's called the diamond loop bracelet. And in this case, it's a diamond loop necklace, which I call the fancy schmancy, because I've added the dragon scale drop. But, like I said, it's made on double loom. There's no reason why you can't make this on a single loom. And you would have it just about this length with extensions on either side to fit your own neck, because this might be way too big for a lot of us. So you can make it any size you want on a single loom with extensions. So that's what I've begun here. in shades of brown and tan and gold. Now, I'm not going to go into a whole lot of detail on placing the rubber bands and looming the entire necklace, because that's what I've got on the other tutorial on the Fancy Schmancy necklace, and that's also all online on the Rainbow Loom instruction page on the Diamond with Loops bracelet. So I dismantled just the beginning of this necklace so that I can show you the placement order very quickly. You begin from the center to the left, then center to the right. All right? And I'm going in the what I call the diamond pattern instead of the X pattern. So I have those. And I'm going to change here to the tan. Center left, center right, left to center, right to center. And I use the mini loom to push the rubber bands down. One more time. Center to left, center to right, left to center, and right to center. Do that pattern all the way up the length of your loom. And I'm going to connect this now. Okay. Now I've also started these, which are also called loops, which can get very confusing. Maybe we could call them lacy loops. Anyway, they're the loops that hang loose off the edge. So we start not on the first peg, go 3, make a triangle over 3 pegs, make a triangle over 3 pegs. Okay, what I've noticed here, the way I know that I've got it right, it follows this pattern of a triangle that these form, and it completes it down at the bottom with that line. And each one successive triangle overlaps the one that was placed before it. So we've come all the way up here, all the way up the right side. Now, I don't want to do the left side until I've placed the dragon scale. Right, now we're going to use the same color for the dragon scale as we use for the lacy loops or the free hanging loops. All right, now I just want to point out a difference. When we're working with a double loom, where we have 2 looms fastened together, it's easy to find the middle because we look for where the 2 looms attach together. When we're working with just 1 loom, that's not quite so easy. We need to count in from both ends, starting with each end, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and our middle peg is number 7, counting from both ends. Okay, so there's 6 on this side, 6 on this side. However, when we're doing a dragon scale, we need to have an even number of pegs so that the first band goes in the middle. If we have this peg as our center, we would have to do this. And trust me, I've tried it several different ways, and it's really difficult to build an even dragon scale with this peg here in the middle. So instead, I've decided that we're doing this. Count up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then we use these two, 6 and 7, as our center. And we'll make that be the center by not using the final 2 pegs. As we do in a lot of the Rainbow Loom bracelets, we'll stop right here at the last center peg, and that's where we'll put the cap band. So there's our cap band. All right, and this is where we start. But this we'll start building down away from the loom. So this rubber band will be our first charm. Now, in this particular necklace, it's going to be a key, which I think is pretty fun. Now, I'll show you something a little bit different here as well. You'll notice here that I've made a slip knot through the hole in this key. In other necklaces I've worked on, when I put the beads on, I just put them on this way. But if we did that here, look what would happen. That would hang sideways. It's the same problem I had. I'll show you another example with these Rainbow Fun Charms. I've used slip knots because if I just threaded the rubber band through, the flip-flops would hang sideways. Now, it worked nicely on the slide beads from Rainbow Fun Charms because they're the same on all sides and you just put the rubber band right through the middle. It also worked really nicely on the butterfly because on the butterfly, look, the connectors are set sideways. So just threading the rubber band straight through works very nicely and the charm hangs properly. But the flip-flops are different. The flip-flops have a flat connector. So that works nicely when you're connecting them to a bracelet. But to have them hanging, there's actually going to be like this. We don't want them hanging sideways. We want them to hang flat. So, problem solved by using a slip knot. And that's what we're going to have here. Take this one off. Okay. Put the rubber band through itself and pull it tight. And that's our slip knot. I'm going to use a little bit bigger focal point key instead of a bead. Now, I have to count again to make sure I have the right pegs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. That goes on here. But, because it's the first one on a dragon scale, it also has to be crisscross. Or, excuse me, made into a figure 8. So, that's how your rubber band should look to begin your dragon scale. Now that is row number 1, and I find it very helpful to count the rows as I go. All right, because even numbered rows will have even numbers of rubber bands, odd number rows will have odd numbers of rubber bands. So row 2 has 2 rubber bands, like that. And yes, I make a double twist on my figure 8s when I'm doing a dragon scale. Well, come on, all thumbs. Stop laughing at Nonni. It's not polite. Okay, 1 twist, 2 twists, and I got it. Now for looming, another wrinkle here. I want it to come from the inside out. That's easier to do if I turn the loom around. And grab my hook. Nothing to loom here. There's only one loop there. And these are pushed way down because we don't want to catch any of these in the net. So come over here, grab the bottom dragon scale loop, up and over. And here, holding this down, up and over. All right. Row 1, row 2. On row 3, we'll have 3 rubber bands. It's an odd number row, so we have an odd number of rubber bands. 1, 2. The center rubber band does not need to be twisted. The ones on the end have to be twisted. Okay, come here. This one does not get loomed. Push those down further. Here, bring the bottom rubber band up and over. Bottom band up and over. Here, you want to hold down that band over so it doesn't pop up as you lift the lower one up and over. Again, hold this down, up and over. All right, now that was row 3 with 3 bands. Row 4, 2 bands. Now it seems like we put on a lot of rows on our dragon scale in between adding beads, or in this case, keys. The thing is, this dragon scale is not going to stretch or shrink very much beyond what you see here. It's going to come in this way, but it's not going to be much longer this way. And so you need to be patient and build quite a few rows in between each of the beads that you add. Right, that's row 5. It's an odd number row, so it has an odd number of bands. It has 3 bands. Now, let's go down further. Grab it, up and over. Hold the top band down, up and over. Bring this up and over. Hold the top band down, up and over. And this one. And your last one, holding this down, up and over. Okay, there we go. All right, we can add 2 more rows before we begin adding the keys. This is the 6th row, 2 rubber bands. Up and over. Ah, did you see that? I did not hold this down. The thing is that this is over here on the right side. And this has to be down first, then this. And because I'm working with my right hand, my left hand's holding the rubber bands down. I was holding these down, but this is the one that needs help. So do it correctly this time, like that. Okay, there. And now, again, I have to hold it down on the right side. There we go. Now, 7th row. Seems like a lot. 3 bands on an odd-numbered row. All right. Get that in place, up and over. Hold it to the right of the peg, up and over. This one's on the left of the peg, hold it. And now holding that same band to the right of the peg, up and over. And here, and there. Now, we're on the 8th row. We have a nice little bit. Laughing at Nonni. It's not polite to laugh at a grandmother. And that's what Nonni means by the way, grandmother. Okay, there's the center, right and left of the 9th row. Push those keys down. Let's see if I can do this time without dropping it. Holding the rubber band on top, like I should have originally. Here we go. Ah, see that? Even with holding it, it pops loose. All right, try again. There we go. Success. Okay, the 9th row. Let's put on one more row. The 10th row, it's an even numbered row, so it's an even number of rubber bands. Up and over. Hold down the top band, up and over. Last tricky one, up and over. And there we are. Flip the loom back around. And there's the fancy schmancy dragon scale net on this steampunk necklace. Popping right back in here with our flip-flop fancy schmancy necklace, I wanted to show you how I'm going to finish with these rainbow fun charms. I've just placed the 14th row of rubber bands. 14 is an even number, so you have an even number of bands, just 2. I'm going to turn this around, and now I'm going to attach my flip-flop charms over here. Now we place them on in between these pegs when we first put them on. But because they're quite large, and I don't want to make the net positively enormous, I'm going to hook them on the ends. This way, they'll hang at a diagonal, which I think will be a nice look for these particular beads, like that. I mustn't forget to put one bead right there in the center. Not a bead, I'm sorry. One rubber band right here in the center. Now that's the 15th row, which is an odd number, so we have an odd number of rubber bands, 3 rubber bands on this row. And we'll connect these, and then we'll put on 2 more rows to finish up the dragon scale net. And then we can finish this necklace off camera. And I'll show you the ending techniques with the steampunk necklace that has all the keys on it. That's kind of fun. All right, 16th row. It seems like an awful lot of dragon scale, but really isn't. Keep that down. There we go. And the last row, 17th row on the dragon scale, an odd number. So we have an odd number of rubber bands. There are 3 rubber bands on it. There we go. I know this turquoise colored jelly bands are not the easiest to see when we're looming on the turquoise blue colored rainbow loom. So that's one of the reasons why we'll finish on the steampunk fancy schmancy necklace. And there you go. That's how those flip-flop charms will hang. And they're kind of appropriate for summer at the beach or at the pool in the aqua turquoise color. They almost look like they're on a fishnet. So I think that works really nicely. So you'll see this all completed at the end of this tutorial. So now we're going to add the lacy loops or the free hanging loops on the left side. This is why we do the dragon scale first, because the loop needs to go over the top of that dragon scale. Now, we don't add one there. We go on to this side and finish that over the top of the last dragon scale loop. And we'll leave this one free. That's our cap band. So now we can start looping. I won't loop the whole thing. Once again, we've done that before on the other tutorials, and this will be just the same. From the center left, center to the left, pull back the cap band, center to the right, left, pull back all of them to the center, and right to center, getting all the way down to that bottom rubber band. All right, once again, pull back all the rubber bands, left, center to the left. All right, that doesn't want to come. Center to the right. There we go. When you come up here to the dragon scale, you just keep on doing it exactly the same way, because you're still going to be going after the two lower bands. Okay, so you push the dragon scale bands out of the way, just like this. Grab that lower band. You can twist over, come to the middle, and if it's tight, you can move it around with your hook. There you go. One more time. Center to the left, and center to the right. And you just ignore the dragon scale all the way up. Okay, and there you go. To make the extension, it's just like you make an extension on any other necklace or bracelet. I'm going to use brown bands because I'm low on my supply of the gold ones. Okay, this is just your cap band. I'm going to make a double chain, which simply means that I'm using 2 rubber bands for each link. And I will make a ball or a button on one side and a loop that will loop over the ball on the other, and that will be the catch for the necklace. Okay, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 6 links done in this chain. Now on the double loom necklace, this is where I added one more link by inserting the needle back into the first one, bringing the 7th link through with a slip knot and forming it into a ball right here. But because we're just using a single loom, we can continue this chain as long as we want, as long as you need it to be to go around your neck or your mom or dad's, whoever you're making this for. And so just keep going on making your extension until the necklace is long enough to go around your neck. Now, of course, when you're doing it, you will have finished looming all this. You can put a C-clip temporarily down here, or an S-clip or whatever, slip knot, just to hold it in place. This will all have been loomed. You can take it off the loom and then just work on both ends, making the extension as long as it needs to be. And then when you've got it, as long as you need it on this end, just bring it back into one of these, pull another couple of bands through and make a slip knot. Right like this. Okay, pull it through itself to make a slip knot. That's too easy to lose the camera here. Okay, then secure that slip knot over the button or ball that you just created. And that's one end of your catch. Now, through the magic of video, I have instantaneously completed the looming on this single loom fancy schmancy necklace with the keys dangling from the center. So we have the button extension on one end, and now down on the opposite end I've pulled a double loop through the beginning where you see it there. Now I'm going to continue this extension with single loops. Just single rubber bands making a single chain. And you make this as long as you want it to be so that the fancy schmancy necklace fits your neck the way you want it to be. This is your project. Come down a little bit onto the camera. Okay, now you make this chain longer than it needs to be so that you can loop it back on itself to make the loop that will go around the button. And that's how you form the catch. Okay, so if that's as long as you need the necklace to be, you want to add 6 or 7 more loops from this point that will be the circle, the loops that go around the button. So add 6 or 7 more rubber bands. That's 3, 4, 5, 5, and 6. And for the 6th one, I'm going to come back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rubber bands. Bring it through that one, through that link, then grab it, bring it through itself, pull it tight, make sure that circle is about as big as you want to be, then bring that slip knot around, twist it in figure 8, bring it around again, maybe a 3rd time. So that rubber band is nice and tight around the neck of that loop. And that forms the button and loop. That's the catch on your fancy schmancy necklace. With the keys going every which way. As promised, here we have the completed fancy schmancy necklace with the flip-flop charms, and the comments you hear in the background are coming from Dumbledore, the blue and gold macaw, who is a total nuisance. Okay, and also did a quick costume change to show off the necklace. So that's how it came out, and here are the extensions with the loop and the ball or button. Now we'll turn the camera around and you can see the finished necklaces we did today. The steampunk necklace. It just needs a little zhuzhing so that these keys hang properly. And the poolside flip-flop fancy schmancy necklace. Now I've even gone ahead and switched the ends of this choker so that it has a ball and loop closure too, which is a little bit nicer than trying to stretch it over my head with the C-clip that was on it at first. So there we go. If you have enjoyed this video, please click like down at the bottom of your screen, and you can subscribe so that you get all of the new projects from Nonni's Crafty Kids, and from Dumbledore the macaw, and from Nonni. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye now. It's Dumbledore the rotten parrot. It's my pirate parrot. Arr, we be pirates. Pirates? Bye-bye.